Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
All right, it is 11:03. You are riding with the Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here today. Dusty with you. Hustle will be joining us momentarily. We'll recap last night in the National Hockey League. And, of course, we will look ahead to tonight as well. A big one for the Winnipeg Jets, the winner of that series, of course, advancing to take on the Edmonton Oilers in the conference final. We'll keep tabs on what's going on over at the PGA Championship as well. A bunch of big boys yet to tee off today, but we'll take a quick look over there at that leaderboard early into the event as well. The Lock Shop today and every day brought to you by our partners at Play Alberta. If you've not yet used that 100 sports code, you're going to want to do it. Deposit $20 or more for a $100 free bet on sports. It's for new and existing players. We'll have a new run of codes in about half a month at the beginning of June. But deposit $20, use the code 100 sports, you get a $100 free bet. Deposit $50 or deposit $5 and you get a $50 free bet when you use the code YEG50. Also for new and existing users. And if you wait, once you do the deposit and use the code, you have a week to use that free bet or it does expire. Also big news today for Play Alberta, as it is announced that down at Commonwealth, the field at Commonwealth will now be Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium, which I kind of knew was in the works for the last couple of months. And exciting news for our partners over at PA. As what we already have up, Dusty's Play of the Day is posted, and the early bird bet of the day is posted as well. Dusty's Play of the Day, minus 112, but we hit it with no sweat. This bet cashed 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter 2 days ago. Jokic over 50. Now, 2 days ago, it was 50 and a half. They're at home tonight. They're facing elimination. The number is 51 and a half points, assists, and rebounds for Jokic. He put out 44 points in 44 minutes last game. It still wasn't enough. You know, if anybody on the Nugs, if anybody's going to bring it tonight, it's that man. He's a freak. So I love Jokic over 51 and a half points, assists, and rebounds tonight at minus 112. And then the early bird bet from the Nielsen show this morning, Winnipeg Jets to win tonight, Oilers with a point, Scheifele with a point. That is sitting at plus 257. We will still have the grandest of parlays from the DGN Den, Jay's Play of the Day, and whatever we come up with from the Lock Shop here today as well. All right, huge game tonight. Huss is in his whites, ready to go for tonight, but lots to get to last night as well, both out in Toronto and then down in Vegas. Huss, how you doing, my man?
Well, I'm pulling it together. It was quite the day yesterday. I did the show with you, did WST, got to the airport in Dallas for a 7:00 flight, which ended up leaving around 9. We got into Fargo after midnight.
Oh, boy.
And
oh, man.
I got home. Yeah. Listen, although I saw you wearing your whites today, I don't know what was up with that outfit you were rocking.
It was the we did a gentleman's show today for the gentleman's sweep against the Golden Knights. You got to go back and check out our show this morning. We were talking like fine gentlemen for the entire 3 hours. So yeah, all time SD winning show this morning, Huss, and crushed it on the views and the likes, which was nice.
I saw your, I just saw the nice white shirt and I said, okay, great. The EST boys, now that they're moving on, are channeling the white out, sending some support our way. But listen, there's no tomorrow. We won't get a win tonight. So energy levels are high. I will tease something on WST.
Ooh.
And Oiler fans will love this too. I just finished recording. That was the other thing of all days, to have an early pre-record.
Oh, you had to pre-record?
But I'll tell you what, it was so worth it. Steve Coolius.
Oh, Cooley.
Cooley came on, talked a lot of Jet Stars. Got into, the just amazing turnaround and gutsy win by the Oilers. And and then we got into the Leafs.
Oh.
And listen, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Cooley's work, he has the most energy maybe in the history of broadcasting.
Yeah.
And he was just absolutely phenomenal. So it has, I've got a big Diet Pepsi. It has buoyed my spirits. I'm just, we're channeling a lot of positivity as we get towards tonight's game. But I guarantee you will enjoy that. So that'll be later on today on Winnipeg Sports Talk when Cooley joins the show.
I was just going to say, you know what we did this morning? And I thought about you while we were doing it. This morning on our show, we went live to some of the calls on TSN 1050 as they were coming in. And because we're like, oh, we might as well check in Toronto. So I started streaming 1050, brought it up on our feed. And the two calls that we listened to, the one guy, it was just after 7:30, if you want to go back. We were sitting here dressed like fine gentlemen, top hats and pipes, and we're having a good time. We're laughing. The one guy calls in and he goes, I just got back to Nashville from game 4, cost me thousands of dollars. Fool me once, shame on me, but this is 9 times now it's happened to me. And I was like, oh no. And then this other guy, so then we went back to our show, and then we decided to pop back in and check it out again. And some guy calls in, an older guy, and he goes, listen, guys, you know the movie, the Wizard of Oz? Yeah, and they're like, the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion, and who was the other guy in that movie? And they're like, the Scarecrow. He goes, yeah. And he was like, you have to bear with me. I'm 69 years old. He goes, but no heart, no brain. And he was basically but he never compared them to Matthews and Marner. I was like, come on, man, give us a comparison. I want to hear you say this guy's Marner, this guy's Matthews. But Haas, we'll get to Edmonton in a second, where things were glorious down in Vegas last night for Oilers fans. But Jersey on the ice, 2 of them, I think, last night. Fans lining up to get out of the building with 10 left. Florida Panthers players laughing on the ice in the third. First of all, there's zero chance they can recover to win game 6 and 7. But that might be the end of that group. What are you supposed to do there right now?
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that Mitch Marner probably played his last game as a Leaf on home ice last night. Unless you think that they could somehow pull off a miracle and get back for game 7. I realize that we always say that's why you play the games, but I would say the Leafs right now, a realistic series price on the Leafs would be about plus 10,000.
Yeah.
Because it is over. And, you mentioned listening to the calls last night. So as I said, we got in late and we got in around, I guess we got in onto the ground just as overtime was starting. So we were able to listen to that. And then, we get bags and everything, and we roll out. We're now on the highway, kind of going from Fargo to Grand Forks to the border. And I'm like, you know what? I'd be very interested to hear. I wanted to hear what Berube had to say first and foremost, because I'm sure he was incredibly embarrassed. But so we pulled up the Leaf post game in the car, and we were listening to it, and it started off with Matthews, then it was Marner, then it was Chris Tanev, and then it was Berube. And Austin Matthews, who I am a fan of, I think he's a great player.
You speak highly of him. Yes, you do. Yep.
Yeah, listen, he's short 69 goals in a season. The guy, you'd love to have him on your team, but he's come up so small in playoffs before. This was a game where they absolutely needed him. And, they said, Austin, so what can you say about that? Well, you know what? We need to be, just that wasn't us. He kept on saying, we got to reset. We got to regroup and get ready to play game 6. And they bring Marner in. He's like, yeah, I don't know about that one tonight, but we got to reset and, regroup. Basically the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then they bring up Chris Tanev, who's a freaking warrior. Anybody would kill to have that guy on their team, especially in the playoffs. And Tanev, in sharp contrast to their two highest paid leaders on that team, says, you know what? It starts with me. I need to be better. I wasn't good enough tonight. I'll be focused on putting forth a much better performance and effort and, not looking at everyone, not talking about resetting or pulling out all these cliches. And I'm like, that right there is the difference.
Yeah.
They made some great ads. I mean, they've had a great season. They won their division. They got out of the first round. They were basically a goal away from being up 3-0 in this series. But
they were up 3-1 in game 3. I mean, it was right there for them.
They're an emotionally fragile team, and those guys haven't stepped up and didn't step up. And listen, I realize I'm saying this of, the fan of a team here in Winnipeg that certainly hasn't had a no-show, especially on home ice in game 5 in a tied 2-2 series like we saw last night. But there have been some guys that haven't been as good as they've been in the regular season. And listen, that's going to happen in the playoffs. But just the total lack of any sort of accountability by those top guys told you all you needed to say about the Leafs. And, I did the same thing. I popped by, I did a little bit of a spin around the dial to see what they were saying in TO today. Tell you what's going to be amazing and is going to be must-watch TV is going to be Overdrive today.
Oh, yeah.
Hayes was on right afterwards. We played that too. And he said, I guess the question to Brian was, that was the worst Leafs playoff loss in how long? And he said, well, I'm 42 years old and it's the worst in my lifetime. That was the most embarrassing performance he'd ever seen from the Toronto Maple Leafs ever. And now I asked Coolius about this. He says, well, and again, Cooley's a bit of a historian as well. He's probably got a couple years on Hayes. Because I think you have to go back to the Matt Sundin era when they bowed out to the New Jersey Devils with 6 shots on goal in a game.
Ouch.
3 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third.
I mean, I'd argue blowing that lead against Boston in game 7 was pretty.
But at least they showed up. I mean, like that.
Yeah, but they also pissed away.
Yeah,
like
you know
the
what? Hey,
biggest win maybe in franchise 40 years.
It's a choke for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean,
no-show in this one.
They had to do to be up at that point, and you got to give Boston some credit for how that all shook out as well. I mean, they didn't even compete last night. And by all accounts, and again, I was traveling, so I didn't see it. But I mean, by everyone, the account that I've heard, the first period, even though they were down 1-0, was the worst of all of it. And so anyways, I mean, listen, I know there's a lot of people that are not Leaf fans. They're enjoying themselves today because that was, I've heard the term disgraceful thrown around quite a bit today. And it sounds like that's exactly what happened.
Would you try to bring Tavares back half price and let Marner walk and spend that money somewhere else on maybe some guys with, some proven playoff heart type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that they need a change of their mix. Now, trading away one of your best players that at 100 points, that's also your best defensive player. Well, most of the time. I mean, he did give the puck away on the third goal yesterday and was in the rearview mirror as the goal went in. So
they're not even trading though, right?
Who of that group? No. But yeah. I mean, listen, one thing, the Leafs will never have a hard time spending their money. But again, you lose Marner, there's other guys that are definitely going to need to step up offensively, and I would say defensively. But again, maybe you can count on them and rely on them a little bit more. Let's talk about this for a minute. Like, let's assume that Marner leaves. How much does this playoff and the playoff performance overall impact his ability to squeeze every single dollar out of the market, which certainly is what he did to his team the first time when he bent the Leafs over in that fashion? But where is a fit? Like, who's going to be, you know what? We'll pony up $13 million a year for Mitch Marner. I saw someone say Carolina, and Carolina would be hilarious because, of course, that was who they were originally trying to trade for when they were talking about trading Mikko Rantanen. when they had to move off. Like if Carolina was able to get him along with Stankoven and the 2 first-round picks, they'll actually, as much as I know people were giving him a hard time, they could actually end up looking pretty good for all of this. But I'm just thinking.
I think Los Angeles. I was just brought up Los Angeles because I went to look at their current cap space. Like Doughty's $11 million coming off the books at the end of next. No, he's got 2 years left, so up to 26, 27. But right now, the Los Angeles Kings don't have a forward that makes more than $8 million. They've got Fiala at 7, almost 8. Kopitar at 7. Byfield's at 6.25 up until 2029. Deneau's at 5.5. Kempe's at 5.5 next year. He's going to cost you on a longer term after that. But, by the time you have to re-up Kempe, the cap would have gone up. Doughty will either be gone or much less than $11 million. I think the Los Angeles Kings, who just brought in Kenny Holland to maybe try to make a splash, could probably take a pretty good run at Mitch Marner. And he's the type of guy that maybe that group could use, from a little bit of a help on a skill perspective.
Yeah, no, listen, I think that's very interesting. Like, I think the money will be there from some of the garbage teams in the league. Like, okay, San Jose or the Ducks with that young team. I mean, they'll maybe be throwing it around. But, listen, I don't know Marner, but I mean, from what I know of him, playing a place like LA where Kings players are relatively anonymous might be a perfect place for him, because it's quite clear that with the pressure and the spotlight that comes on being a Toronto Maple Leaf, in the most important moments, in the high leverage times, the playoffs, he and the rest of his team just it hasn't worked. And can you imagine being a fly on the wall in Craig Berube's office afterwards when he's just talking with the coaches about what happened away from the media and away from the players? Oh,
man. Just the truth, hey? Like, just exactly what they think about those guys. Yeah, well, as Sailor pointed out over on the chat, and if you're watching on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for the Lock Shop. We would appreciate that. Sub to the channel as well. Sailor says 23 players have scored in the Panthers-Leaf series, and Austin Matthews hasn't scored one. 23 other players have scored in that series. And Matthews
hadn't played in the whole series and got in and ended up getting one at the end of the game last night. He's ahead of Austin Matthews.
God.
So I don't know if he's hurt or what. I mean,
Wyshynski did say today that Wyshynski said, listen, guys, Matthews has to be hurt. And even if he's not, he should probably get surgery anyway. Just be like, going in for surgery, totally banged up. Don't worry about me.
Well, I'll say this. As a fan of his, he did not sound like a captain at all last night. They asked him about not scoring at all in the series. He said, well, you know what? I mean, there's a lot of things that, we need to do. I'm just trying to focus on doing, some of the little things and everything else. And, hopefully that'll come. But again, like there's no internal pressure these guys are putting on them. And listen, I guess when you get paid the way they do and you get everything thrown at them, and it's a generation of players that I think have frankly been coddled from the day that they set foot on the ice. You get, maybe that's what you get. I don't know. But Berube has the biggest challenge of his entire career going into Game 6. And I think it's as much to get like, what do you expect from the Leafs in Game 6? Because if you play like that at home,
like the Leafs,
it feels like it's over.
Yeah,
already.
We talked about it yesterday, remember? And I was like, the Leafs have provided me with a bit of doubt in believing that they're still the Leafs. And boy, did they sure look like that Leafs team that we've known for years and years and years yesterday. So I would expect, like, if Florida scores early, pretty much could be a repeat of what we saw last night. It really could.
I mean, listen, it's a fascinating team, and that offseason is going to be going to be very, very interesting because I don't think, and again, we've been doing this long enough, I'm pretty sure we've had similar conversations about the Toronto Maple Leafs at this time of year going, well, after that,
there's no way they run it back.
No way
those
they
guys.
bring everybody back, do they?
That's true.
And they keep doing it. So
we were having that conversation about that group before they brought in Tavares. Then they brought in Tavares, and you're like, okay, this is the piece now. And you know what? Not to toot McDavid's horn overly, but Connor McDavid, if you go watch his availability last night after a series clinching win compared to Austin Matthews last night, it's night and day. Like McDavid did not smile once. He was spicy last night. Like they asked about Stuart Skinner. He's like, yeah, hopefully that shuts everybody up who's been talking about him. He was asked about the power play. He goes, well, maybe that's another story you guys can write. Like our power play is not going very well. Like it was great. It was a great availability from McDavid last night. Like he just looked like a guy who was pissed that there's another series coming up before they can get to the Stanley Cup final. Like a job's half done. We're not there yet. Don't even bother asking me about, what's coming down the road. It was one of the best availabilities I think he's ever had, to be honest with you.
There's an article up at Barstool right now. I checked out earlier today. And the headline is simply this: you won't find anybody more pissed off after winning a playoff series than Connor McDavid.
It was he sounded more bitter than Matthews and Marner did after what happened to them.
What was
night.
His problem? I mean, you just beat the
biggest
Vegas Golden Knights in 5 games and had back-to-back shutouts.
I think his problem is that he doesn't have a Stanley Cup yet, and he's pissed. Like he just, he took a heavy crash into the boards last night. It was cut up a little bit on his face, but first of all, I asked about Skinner, and he dropped the, maybe it shuts up everybody who's been, saying things about him. And then they were asked, your guys' ability in these last couple of games to shut it down. And he legitimately says, he goes, I don't know why I have to keep answering this question. He goes, we can defend. We've defended well for a long time. Like, we know how to defend. This is like, we need to stop talking about this. And there was another one that he was, and then about the special teams. And he goes, something along the lines of, we've got through this, with, kind of battling special teams right now. And our power play hasn't been very good. And that's something you guys can, I got to watch it. It's pretty fun.
I love this quote because sometimes there is an element of creating a narrative, even if it's not true. Oilers, McDavid, there's probably a lot of people that thought it was going to go longer than 5 and probably not a lot of people that thought we would win. Yeah. It's nice to keep on rolling and proving people wrong. I mean, is there a lot of people that just don't believe in the Oilers? I would say.
Well, Wyshynski came on this morning and said, like, all of the analysts at ESPN outside of him and like one other guy picked the Golden Knights to beat the Oilers. Now, I don't know if the Oilers care about what ESPN analysts say, but it's not like it was unanimous. Oh, they're going to beat Vegas. Vegas was a 110-point team. I don't blame people for picking Vegas, but the Oilers, you know what? If they will go in, they will not have home ice against either whoever wins this other series, and people will be picking the Stars or the Jets. I don't know if everybody's going to hop on a team that's won 8 of their last 9 here in the playoffs, but I do think McDavid. I know there's a chip on his shoulder right now. It's kind of fun to see.
I don't buy that at all. I think that the Oilers will be the favorite regardless of who wins this series, and it's most likely Dallas.
Is that because of what happened against Vegas? Do you think?
I mean,
like just because of how they beat Vegas in 5? Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that they did it without having to be Leon and Connor putting the team on their back.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually showed that, like, to Connor's point, for people that maybe haven't paid attention to them, they can defend.
And like most people at Sportsnet, like all this, like the majority of the Sportsnet analysts had picked the Kings to beat them too. Right. So they feel like they've kind of been under the radar for a couple rounds. I think that changes this round too, but yeah. What were you going to say?
Well, okay. We got 2. I've got a social media thing to talk about, but first I have to ask you, because you did put out that tweet that everyone was looking for Skinner to fail, and that certainly sounded that way. And I know you walked it back a little bit, saying, like, look at the people in the replies and look at what they've been saying.
Yeah.
It's like, and this is the thing. People get these takes. They're supposed fans of a certain team, but they're saying this guy sucks, this guy sucks, this guy sucks. And it's almost like they plant their flag so hard in on their take, they'd rather to be right on that take than have the guy that they've been shitting on the whole time step up and play well and actually have your team win. So
it
where
comes
is
across
everybody?
that way.
What's been the aftermath of back-to-back shutouts in Game 4 and Game 5? Is he once again the toast of the town? He should be right now.
Yeah, he should be. I did appreciate the one text today that came in and said, Dusty, if Pickard was in, they would have won in regulation last night. Which I was just like, you guys are hilarious.
Is he going to be playing second line, or is he on the power play? It was a 0-0 game.
This is the thing with Skinner. And I know, because I was getting into, I should just ignore a lot of people on social media, but I people will try to be like, no way, Dusty, we're going to support him again. But if Skinner starts game 1 against Dallas or Winnipeg and lets in 4 goals and 2 of them are bad, people will be talking shit about him again immediately, even though he's coming in off back-to-back shutouts and actually has the best numbers ever by a goalie in the history of the National Hockey League in games 4 through 7. Like, for some reason, he's a closer. He just has been for the last 2 years. So things are good now, but I know things can change quickly when it comes to Stuart Skinner. And the thing that I guess frustrates me the most about it is that those who criticize him can't criticize him fairly. Like, yes, you can criticize him on 1 goal. They'll say he should have stopped all 4. And it's just like, come on. Like, just be fair in your criticism, because he hasn't played so well that, he, especially in those first 3 games, that he should avoid it. But every time he's in net and they lose, the entire loss gets blamed on him, which I just don't think is fair. A part of it, sure. I mean, it always happens for goalies. But let's see how it is. Everything's great now, and he's played very well for 2 games. But if he has a bad game in game 1, the same people that were shitting on him in round 1 will be back instantly. I don't think he's won anything just yet with those people.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I get it. And when you're on a team with the expectations of the Oilers, after going to Game 7 of the Cup final and coming up just short, it is cup or bust. And like we've seen in so many situations, including right here in Winnipeg, this is a results-based business, and it is what have you done for me lately? But for crying out loud, people, you've got a guy that just came in off the bench in a pretty tough and pressure-packed situation, filling in for a guy that had rattled off 6 in a row. The first game did not go their way at home, and he ridiculously was blamed for that goal when, I mean, he did everything he could, considering the time and the situation, to not allow him a shot to put it in the net. Leon put it in the net and then bounced back with 2 shutouts. I mean, I think you just have to recalibrate, to use an Austin Matthews or Mitch Marnerism, reset, refocus. You got a goalie that's playing very well, and you're 8 wins away from a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Happy and enjoy it and go from there. So speaking of goaltending and tweets, so after the game in Dallas, Game 4, I'm all pissed off or whatever and coming in, and I knew that there'd be, and listen, I'm the first one to admit Hellebuck hasn't been up to his standard, needs to be better, but this guy has been our franchise player. And again, could still win the Hart Trophy, which is crazy. Has he been at a Hart level? Not even close for the most part in these playoffs. Did play his best game of the playoffs in Game 2. Got a 4-0 shutout. And both of the goalies, like Ottinger's led in some bad goals too. I mean, the Oilers won in the game. Anyways, so Hellebuck actually spoke after a loss in Game 4. That never happens. I can't even remember the last time the goalie spoke after a loss, but he did in this case. And I appreciated him standing up. He mentioned, sometimes some of these things can be heartbreaking, but we still believe in ourselves. And, of course, and I just put up, I know many of you guys are killing him right now, and I get it, but I will ride with this guy until the end. You win Game 5 and get it back here to Dallas for Game 6. It's not over. So this tweet continues to get a ton of engagement. And I think the majority of Jet fans that are sane realize that, you know what, he has done so much for this team. Turning your back on a guy that has had, you know, a rough little stretch when the team hasn't been scoring enough goals as well, I think is sort of foolish. And you got to stay positive. You can't just turn on your own the minute you have any sight of adversity. What has been interesting, though, is these loser Blues fans that are still so salty from losing in the fashion that they did in Game 7. You know, like one guy just tosses back the crying, laughing emoji. So I just go 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then another guy going, but it's over with the Blues thing in his avatar. And I'm like, we have a game tonight. You have another 4 months to think about 1.6 seconds. I will say this. If any fan base should understand that a series is not over until it's over, it's the morons from St. Louis in my mentions, because that thing was done with 2 minutes left in Game 7, and then it wasn't. And the Jets are playing right now, and the Dallas Stars are playing right now, and the Blues are getting ready for the draft. So I have to laugh how people can just be so clueless and out of it. But again, these are the streets we run on right now when you open up the app during the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I love the way you stood up for your guy. Someone needed to do it. And I will be doing the same for our guy going into Game 5 tonight and hoping that we get it to Game 6 for a game in Dallas, where I will say one thing. The Jets are very due for a win on the road. They won more than any team on the road all year and haven't been able to do it right now. It's a damn good thing they've had as many home games and got the home ice advantage in this series. But big opportunity tonight to get, like, if they can win this game, like, to use the Toronto-Florida example. Yeah. I mean, I would say the Jets would be in 10 times a better position going into Game 6 if they can get this win, having just won again, having just won their second game, with an opportunity to put it to 7, as opposed to the Leafs.
Oh, not even close. Not even close. Way better.
I mean, essentially,
the Leafs are on life support, man. The Leafs are on light support. That would be a huge boost for the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, it's night and day, the two situations. I did throw that early bird bet earlier in the day. Jets to win, Oilers with a point, Scheifele with a point. You can find that over on EST Specials page. Who steps up tonight, Huss? Who steps up for this Winnipeg team at home in front of the crowd? I really love the Oilers point. The Scheifele one, I think, should be good. But what do you think about this team tonight? Who do you like in this game?
Yeah,
who steps up?
Scheif's made his hay at home. I mean, we talk a lot about Hellebuck's struggles on the road and everything. Scheif hasn't scored a road playoff goal since 2019.
Oh, my God. I was not aware.
Now, granted, he was knocked out in Game 1 of the bubble by the slicing of his leg by Matthew Tkachuk. Had a good series against the Oilers, but it was more setting up when in the sweep in 21. And then, of course, had the infamous Jake Evans hit and got suspended for the rest of the playoffs. So there has been some time where he's been out of action. But I'm looking at two guys tonight, and I'm throwing goal props on them.
Okay,
Oilers. I love the Oilers, and I think he'll absolutely be involved in a point. And then the other guy is Kyle Connor. Like, I think Kyle Connor had a tough time probably sleeping after game number 4 because, he had a point blank chance that he just didn't get it enough on Jake Ottinger, which would have been huge. And then arguably the biggest moment in the game in the third period with the Jets down 2-1, killing a 4-minute minor to Hayden Fleury. They got through about the first 3 minutes of the power play, and then Kyle Connor broke away on a breakaway, one-on-one against Jake Ottinger, and wasn't able to score. And listen, he's by far the best scorer on this team. I think he has a big game at home tonight. So I'm hitting goal props for Connor. I'm going to hit one on Oilers. And along with that, I think it's almost a guarantee that Scheifele gets a point if those things happen. And listen, the power play is the other.
I was going to say, how many power play opportunities have they had, Huss? Are they getting 2-3 a game or what?
Oh, yeah.
So they're getting their looks.
They have been. Well, this is the other thing. It's so frustrating. Like Dallas, I'll say this. Dallas has not been at their best so far. Like the top line, the Rantanen line, absolutely. And Ottinger's had some real good moments. But the Duchesne line's done nothing. And their captain, Jamie Benn, and Tyler Seguin, one of their other longest tenured players and highest tenured paid players, not only have they not done much, when it comes to helping the team, they have taken multiple brain dead / careless, dumb penalties to give the Jets power plays. And the inability to make them pay on that is maybe the biggest reason why this series is 3-1 right now. So I have no doubt that they'll be really locked in and focused on doing a little bit more with that power play. Obviously, you got to be a little bit better on the PK and mix a few more saves in there. But this is a team that has been great at home all year, great at home through the playoffs. And they have a lot of pride, and they will we will not see a repeat of what happened in Toronto last night. That I can guarantee you. And I'll tell you what, if the Jets play the way they can, there's absolutely no reason why this series should not go back to Dallas. And I was in the building for both of those games. Both of them could have gone either way. A little bit of luck, obviously a really controversial call in game 3 that really sort of flipped it. It is not out of the question that we could be talking about a 7th game early next week here in Winnipeg. But it all starts with tonight. I think Ehlers and Kyle Connor lead the way. I think Josh Morrissey as well, if you're looking for another point guy. I think Morrissey certainly on the blue line. He's looked a lot better. He's logging some major ice time. He'll be on the power play tonight, and hopefully they can make
What about this Rantanen, Hintz, Granlund line? I mean, who needs to do a better job on those guys?
Well, listen, in Winnipeg, it's Adam Lowry, and they did a great job.
Okay.
On them.
So like tonight, you would hope to contain them then, right?
Yeah. Listen, and that's part of the reason why Winnipeg shook up their lines the way they did in game number 4 without even showing that at all in the morning skate. It was actually wild. It was like, okay, morning skate report, all lines are the same, line rush is the same. And then the game starts. Luke Schen's in, Colin Miller's out, and every one of the Jets' lines was different. And it ended up with Ehlers playing with Lowry and Velarde and Alex Iafallo moving back up to that top line. So I think that with the last change, we're going to see Lowry on Rantanen. And I know everyone's saying, well, what do you mean? Rantanen had a hat trick in the first game. Well, this is the thing. One of those goals was on the power play, and the other 2 were when Pete DeBoer was double shifting him, playing actually with the 4th line. So it's going to take everybody, but it was Granlund that was the killer in game number 4. We haven't really had the Rupi Hintz game yet. I hope we don't see it. But that line has truly been, what has been the difference so far, other than, Jake Ottinger with a couple major timely saves, despite the fact that he's let in a couple that I know he'd like to have back.
Jets and Stars will be the second half of a doubleheader in the National Hockey League tonight. That first half, Carolina and the Capitals. The Capitals are plus 130 dogs at home tonight, looking to avoid, a 5-game series loss as well. Carolina, man, they're looking really good. Do you think they finish it off tonight, or does Washington have some pushback here at home?
I think Washington will have some pushback tonight. I'm just not sure it's going to be enough. Carolina, we've kind of been hitting these puck lines because, they just have so many more chances. They have so many more pucks on net. This has sort of been an underwhelming series, to be honest. Yeah. I don't know anyone that's really been captivated by the Caps and Canes. It's sort of been like there's been 3 really interesting series and then this one. I don't have a strong feel on this game, to be honest with you. I think if I did, I'm probably looking at Carolina. The fact of the matter is that they could go in and win this game. What did you say? What did you say you were seeing on Carolina?
I'm looking at Carolina minus 167 to win on the money line.
All right. That might be a little high. I think probably a more fair line would maybe be in the minus 150s or minus 140s. But hey, if they win, they win, right? And there's not a lot you could take. Like, put it this way. I think the Jets come back home knowing how thin the margin was between winning and losing in games 3 and 4 and can kind of lean on that. It was interesting to hear Elliot Friedman saying that of the 3 teams that are down 3-1, the Jets are the most likely to come back, and I will certainly subscribe to that. Washington just hasn't seen enough. They were just so outclassed in game number 1 of the series and didn't really have much of an opportunity to do it in back at home. So I think I'm roll with Carolina tonight. And to be honest, if you're betting Carolina, just because of the nature of the way these games have gone,
puck line.
Puck line. I mean, let's face it. You're going to be pulling the goalie. As long as it doesn't go to overtime, which is always a possibility. If they're up, it's probably not going to be a 1-goal game if it ends in regulation. It's probably 2 or 3, if for no other reason that they pull the goalie at the end. So, I think Carolina is going to book their ticket, and we'll see what happens with their opponents, which will likely be the Panthers as early as tomorrow night.
Before let's just slide off here back to and get ready for WST. Interesting first round here at the PGA Championship.
I don't know what to say. I just flicked it. I guess they switched channels.
Okay.
On TSN, so that's why I was turned around.
But the story here is guys who aren't even remotely close to the top part of the leaderboard. Rory McIlroy is 2 over. He's T68 right now. Patrick Cantlay's 3 over. Min Woo's 3 over. Brooks Koepka's 4 over. Xander's 1 over. Sepp Straka's 2 over. I haven't been tracking the weather there. I know it was wet during the week. Are these afternoon guys getting like what? Or I guess not. I guess what the hell's going on with Rory? What's happening here?
You know what? I mean, I'm not too.
Because the leader's at what, 6 under? He's 8 off the pace right now.
Actually,
5 under.
7.
7.
Gerard just Ryan Gerard just eagled. He just eagled the 5th hole, and it looks like, oh my God, I know that he's eagled this. He's 7 under. And I'm looking at the shot tracker on their site. He hit his second shot 278 yards to the right intermediate rough, 59 feet from the hole, and he must have jarred it.
No way.
Chipped in.
God.
And his back 9 right now, birdied 10, birdied 11, birdied 12, birdied 13, parred 14, and then eagled 15. So he's on some crazy run right now. I'm not familiar with him, and I don't think, it's one thing to have a great single round, and he was probably about 300 to 1 to be a first-round leader if he ends up being that guy. But I'm not worried about Rory and the likes of Xander. Like, when we get to Sunday, these guys are going to be in the mix. What you can't do is go Phil Mickelson and be 8 over. Look at some of these numbers of guys. Martin Keimer, another live guy, former PGA champ. He's 7 over. You mentioned Brooks at 4 over right now. That's tough. It would be nice if Rory could get a birdie or 2 on the way in. Okay, he's playing 18 right now. So if he could birdie, great. If not, at least stay in there at +2. It'll be in the mix because these guys with the gaudy numbers right away are going to be coming back. At least a guy like Gerard. I did know there were some people that were pretty high on Ryan Fox. Luke Donald, how about that? Ryder Cup captain, 4 under. Was he trying to play his own way onto the team? And then Stefan Jaeger is a guy that we picked this year that's had a really good year.
We've been on Jaeger a bit. Yep.
Very impressive. Keegan Bradley, speaking of Ryder Cup captains, he's 4 under.
I've had some JT Poston through the year too. He's at 3 under.
Matty Fitz has been sort of nondescript so far this year.
Bobby Mack's right there too, 3 under.
Bobby Mack, that's nice for the lefty award. I see John Rahm and Tommy Fleetwood are in at -1. That's a nice spot. Scotty Scheffler's at -1. But again, so those guys are at -1. Rory's at +2. We saw it in the final round of the Masters. That can change in 1 or 2 holes.
Yeah.
So just getting out without it being a disaster, I think, is key for the Rorys and the Schauffeleys. Tomorrow will be key to kind of get what you gave up today back and put yourself in a good position ahead of the cut for the weekend. And then we'll really see, I think, the big boys flex and the differences between the top players in the world and the rest of these guys that caught lightning in a bottle on Saturday and on Sunday. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow, Rory, Scotty, Xander will be playing in the afternoon group. So we'll be able to you'll be able to do the show, finish up the lock shop, and then pay attention to those guys sort of in the prime time of Quail Hollow. But lots of golf left to be played. You can't win the PGA Championship in the first round, but you sure can lose it. They just got to avoid that at the end.
Huss, jam-packed WST, I'm assuming, today with the game tonight. What time are you running Cooley? What time are you going to have Cooley on?
Well, I think Cooley will probably be in the second hour. So I would say after 1 p.m., 1 p.m. So probably like in and around maybe 1:10 Edmonton time. We're going to jump into everything coming out of the morning skate, off the hop, hear from the coaches. Brandon Rewicki's going to jump on. And then in the second hour, about a good half hour of just unbridled passion and great hockey takes from Steve Cooley. So if you want to jump in, pop by, leave a comment. Love all you ESTers. And hey, the Nasties, you got a couple days. How's that going in a May long weekend? The teams in the Western Conference Finals. By the way, what's the weather going to be like there in Edmonton for May long?
I mean, it was raining today. It was really dark today. I think it's kind of rain quite a bit here for the next little while, which isn't bad in the spring. Oh, no, not bad. We're looking at 15 tomorrow, 15 Saturday, 18 Sunday, 15 Monday.
You take that. You know that Tuesday, I guess, it was 37 in Winnipeg.
I almost said F off. I almost swore at you. Are you serious?
37 degrees 2
days
ago.
In May? In Winnipeg?
In May, yeah. May 13th. It's the second hottest May day ever in Winnipeg, and the other one was the 30th of May, which is basically June.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
But in true Winnipeg fashion,
Slurpee sales through the roof.
It was 37. Then it was like yesterday, I think it got to 31 or 32. Today it's going to get up to 24. Saturday's high for May long, 6.
Well, Mark says Winnipeg was the hottest place on earth. Legit that day, the 37 degrees. I don't know what to say. I'm at a loss of words.
Great thing. So you know what? As unlikely, you know what's more likely than Winnipeg being 37 degrees in early May? Winning 3 in a row against the Dallas Stars starting tonight. Appreciate the support from ESTers. Enjoy the game tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully we can have some good things happening at the PGA for the Lock Shoppers.
There you go. That is us. Winnipeg Sports Talk firing up in about 9 minutes. We've got 2 guys and a goalie coming up here as well. That's insane. How do you go from 37 to 0 that quickly? That's plenty bizarre. I see UConn still sucks, eh? Oh, he's still here. Jay and Trevor going right at now too.
It's a 2-man league. The rest of us.
Oh, it's not a 2-man league. It's early. It's day 1.
It's a 2-man league.
Hernan, please calm down. God, Hernan's already rattled. All right, let's recap. And you know what? I haven't really talked about this too much, but I do want to dive into a bit today. If you go to playalberta.ca or on the app, the odds boosts and daily specials up there, they've got a ton of them every single day. And it's not just the ones that we're throwing out. There's ones that the guys at the book are just putting together. So if you go take like Alexander Ovechkin to have 4 shots on goal and the Canes to win by 2, plus 430. Scheifele to record an assist and the Stars to win in regulation, plus 490. So they've got a bunch of different odds boosts there, and then they've got a bunch of daily specials as well. And then, of course, we've got our EST specials. And we have our third one up. I just threw up the Lock Shop Partner Parlay after the chat with us. Here's what we're doing. Here's the 3 plays right now over at Play Alberta. And congratulations to both Play Alberta and the Edmonton Oilers, both partners of ours. From a business perspective, coming together on a great deal down there at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. I know big day for Jordan and the whole PA crew with getting that deal done. They always got good stuff cooking at Play Alberta. I'm not going to lie. Having a chat with these guys for a little bit now. Or getting to chat with these guys, I should say. They always got juicy things in the hopper, which is kind of exciting. The early bird bet of the day, plus 257, Jets to win Oilers with a point, Scheifele with a point. If you like the Jets tonight, that's your play. Dusty's play of the day from social media earlier. Jokic over 51.5 points, assists, and rebounds, minus 112. And then the lock shop partner parlay, Winnipeg Jets to win, Jokic over 28.5 points, plus 250. Uke, I saw you did text me the grandest of parlays. I'll get that over to the guys here right away after lock shop as well. And then we'll get that up. And then Jay's play of the day still to come after he's done losing to Trev in Tech with a couple of noobs playing over there. Just amateur hour out there right now. If you've not yet checked out the casino at Play Alberta, you can do that as well. Deposit $20 or more to get a $100 casino bonus. It's usable for both new and existing players. That code is 100casino. All right, two guys and the goalie is going to be excellent today. It was a great conversation last time. Nanso, when we're done lock shop today, let's reset that board. And we'll reset it and load it all up again so we don't have to deal with what we had to deal with last time.
You got it, boss.
Hey, yeah, good work, Nanso. Hey, sorry about the loss, buddy. First game of the you're low.
Yeah,
fair to be rusty.
No, but one, I was forced to play. I didn't want to play.
Oh God, why would you not want to play regular season games?
Two, I mean, sometimes the Tecmo gods are with you, sometimes they're not, and you caught everything. Like it was BS.
But my guys were open. You got to cover them. Hey, how much does Uke suck?
Yeah, he's terrible.
It's pretty bad.
If I lose to Uke, I'm probably gonna.
How does Manny throw for 350 yards in this game?
Walk away.
Like Uke just pick and run plays, and then
Jay just had like a 60-yard run on the Dallas Cowboys with Biner from
Biner.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The season is officially underway. What a time to be alive here at EST. All right, I'll be up. Gagers here. Cass will be connecting. Two guys and a goalie breaking down a pretty impressive 5-game victory over the Golden Knights for your Edmonton Oilers. Maybe we'll run back that McDavid again too. He was fired up today. That was good.
Stop asking him about defense.
Yeah, enough already. The team can defend. That's going to do it for the lock shop today. Best of luck tonight, and we will talk to you tomorrow.